Welcome to the SBL pre-scene discussion for the June 2024 examination. As usual, the examiner has taken a very niche industry. So here we'll be looking at a veterinary industry. Let's first look at the summary key points given in the case study, as well as at the end compile a basic SWOT analysis so that we understand the main strengths, weaknesses, as well as the external opportunities and threats provided in the pre-scene. Let's start with this. So our company under consideration is Praecuro Vet Services, which we will be referring to as PVS. The industry is related to veterinary, so we are into vet services in the country of Ireland. The company was established 32 years ago, and now it is the 5th largest in the country. So it is not a very new company. It has its history for over 3 decades. Let's first look at the industry information. The business involved is related to vets, and we employ specialist animal doctors who are called veterinarians, as well as specialist animal nurses who we call as vet nurses. These are key internal stakeholders. Okay, just like a normal organization has its board of directors, senior managers, and employees as key internal stakeholders, here it's the same. They are employees, but they are of different types. We have veterinarians, who refers to specialist animal doctors, and next is vet nurses, who are specialist animal nurses. And veterinarians are those who get elected to this position while studying at a university for 5 years. So we can basically reasonably justify that there is not unlimited supply. If this industry is competitive, obviously a person needs to spend 5 years in the university pursuing this specialization in veterinary, and then upon qualification become a specialist animal doctor. Now let's look at this particular service PVS is involved in. So let's define the market. They have defined that we are into treating pets. So pets are either domesticated or tamed, and the purpose of pets are for companionship or pleasure. So it's reasonable to conclude that the owners, the clients, are domestic households who have pets for companionship or leisure. It's not for business purpose. In this industry, services include vaccinations for pets, diagnosis of health conditions and diseases, prescription for medication. So we provide vaccines, annual regular vaccines, as well as we provide diagnosis to understand the health conditions. And in case of requiring medication, we provide prescription separately. And if needed, we can also provide medication. And we can also sell medicine. And typically there are many places where they sell with prescription and without prescription. Typically those without prescription are certified places who can guarantee that they provide the proper medicine. Surgical operations, referrals for serious medical issues, including complex surgery and specialist services, guidance and advice on pet care, sale of specialist food, sale of accessories. Now look at the last three. It's not merely medical treatment. They can also provide guidance and provide advice on how to care about the pet. Selling food as well as accessories. The above are obtained via consultation, which is booked over the phone or online. So normally these are done through consultations. It can be booked on the phone or online. So this basically says that okay, this industry is not a pure offline industry, and an average consultancy time is 15 minutes. So the examiner has specifically given us this section, this part, so that students who are unaware of the industry will have an understanding of the scope of services captured in the veterinary business. The examiner specifically stated that students include discussions in the final exam limited to what's given in the case. So even if the industry is niche, you need not worry and obtain information outside. No. Whatever you need to know about the industry, about the business is all given in the pre-scene. So for those students who do not have pets, this information will be sufficient. Market structure. If you look at a vet organization, there are vet organizations that are run by a group of veterinarians. And a business will often have one or two clinics, multiple clinics. The market growth is slow and organically grown. Market growth is slow. Because why? We are looking into treating pets for domestic purposes. So, market will grow only when people are increasing the amount of pets they have, or when people start to have pets. So, it's basically organically grown. Number of pets in Ireland has increased. Okay. Number of pets in Ireland has increased, which is one of the opportunity. Okay. Number of pets increased in the market in Ireland. Right. Size of many vet businesses and large businesses acquire smaller businesses. We can see that due to increase in number of pets, the market has expanded, and it has also observed that businesses in the vet industry have started to acquire smaller businesses. So there is predation going on. Why do they acquire smaller businesses? So this is an inorganic growth. One of the main reasons is cost savings from economies of scale, and they expect this acquisition trend to continue over the next 5 years. Okay. MNCs in pet food divisions have started acquiring vet businesses, typically multinational companies who are operating in a larger scale. They also have started to acquire vet businesses due to industry profit, an added revenue source, and vertical integration, forward integration. Okay. So see, MNCs in pet food division. So those who are providing pet food, they are the supply of food, and veterinary businesses sell food. So these MNCs businesses in providing pet food industry, they are now integrating forward by acquiring vet businesses, and they are expected to continue to expand via acquisition. So let's take a note of this as well. So that's a threat. Forward integration of suppliers, typically in MNCs in supplying pet food. And also we can see that larger vet businesses acquiring smaller businesses. And now because of this, they are expanding their scope. Competitors expanding scope and enjoying economies of scale. Right. So these are all inferred from what's given so far. Now let's look at the competition structure. 3 multinational companies control 52% of Ireland's pet vet services industry, and they have clinics nationwide. So when you look at competitors, majority of the market share is held collectively by 3 companies, and these are multinational companies, and they have presence throughout the country of Ireland. 3 large independent vet organizations, they have clinics on a regional basis. So we have 3 MNCs, they are present throughout the country, and we have 3 large independent vet organizations separately. They also have clinics on a regional basis. They are dominating regions. Hundreds of smaller businesses with less than 10 people operate locally. There are many vet businesses, but they are on a very small scale with less than 10 people on average. And if you look at the market share, which is basically percentage revenue from the industry, as at 31st March 2024, we have the top few companies. We have Glows Company, which owns 23%, Bellstone Company, which has a market share of 16%, Hughes Group, which has a market share of 13%. So these are the top 3 companies. If you add these 3 companies' market share, it brings up 52%. So we can reasonably assume these 3 companies which owns a cumulative 52% are MNCs. Dennis Vet Clinics 7%, and then Praecuro Vet Services, that is us, we have 6% of the market share. We have 6% of the market share. Good Health Veterinarians 4%, the rest are small scale businesses. Remember, earlier we discussed 3 MNCs control 52%, and there are 3 large independent vet organizations. So it's reasonable to assume Glows Group, Bellstone and Hughes Group are the MNCs, and Dennis, PVS and Good Health are the 3 large independent vet organizations. And we are having clinics on a regional basis. So that itself is a strength. So we are having strong presence. We are having strong regional presence. Okay. However, there is another threat. 3 MNCs are also present throughout Ireland. Okay. So even though we have a strong presence in a specific region, the 3 MNCs are also present. So they can basically eat up our customers. Good. Market performance, industry revenue is $2.5 billion and industry employment is 36,000 people. Now let's have a quick look at the industry outlook in the country of Ireland. Average annual growth of the industry is 3.5% throughout the last 5 years, and we expect the average annual growth to increase by 6.8% over the next 5 years. So we can again observe. All right, so let me do this for convenience. Is also an external opportunity. We can also see the market size will be increasing, will be growing largely in the next 5 years. Will be growing largely, which is 3.5% in the last 5 years and 6.8% in the next 5 years. Right. Pet ownership have increased for a decade and expected to further increase in the next 5 years. That could be obviously one of the main reasons for the annual average growth to fastly grow in the next 5 years. The lifespan of pets have increased due to advance in services, pet nutrition, in diagnosis, treatment and care. So that's also an opportunity. Lifespan of pets increasing. So obviously when lifespan of pets increasing, the total amount of money spent on a single pet would obviously increase. Assume that a normal pet would usually last long for 10 years. Now it becomes 13 years. We spend more. Lifespan of pets increasing and realized benefits of pet care. Why do I mean that? It's because they are specifically stated lifespan of pets have increased due to advances in services, pet nutrition, diagnosis, treatment and care, and these services are provided by veterinary businesses. And clients, pet owners who would have realized that, okay, these spending on these services have basically provided us observable benefits, they would still continue to consume our services. Revenue growth from pet healthcare plans. It's more popular. What spreads the treatment costs over several months? So, pet healthcare plans, there is a client attraction, or else there is market opportunity in implementing pet healthcare plans. Okay, it's more popular amongst the clients. Why? Because the pet healthcare plan typically spreads the treatment costs over several months. Rather than paying bulk, they can pay in installments, pay partly. And changing attitude towards pests. This has also resulted in changing attitude towards pests, where we have positive impact on revenue and clients are willing to spend more for their pet. Right? And we also see where clients are spending more on pets, typically due to also driven by healthcare plans. This is one of the major driving factor. In reality, look at this. If we can, if we can not spend lump sum and spend part by part, obviously the total consumption would increase, because clients might not sense large expenses if they start paying part by part. Cost. Staff cost includes training, which is the biggest proportion of cost. Purchases. So we spend money on medical supplies such as medication, bandages, syringes and resale products like pet food and accessories. Cost for premises, administration, health and safety and marketing. So these are the main cost factors. In terms of clients, so these are still the industry information students. In terms of clients, in the past, a typical pet owner would be more than 35 years old, but now at present, majority, 60% of pet owners are younger, between 16 to 34 years. So this provides us a client profile. Increasingly looking for consultation times. So if you look at consultation times, it's more consultation times are typically observed during evenings and weekends. Attract and retain clients. The main driven factors that can attract and retain clients are through lowering consultation fee as well as setting up a markup on medication fee. Industry challenges in the country of Ireland includes recruitment and retention of staff has increased its difficulty, because now we have to incur a large amount of cost to train as a vet. Okay, because earlier we saw to be a veterinarian doctor, the particular employee needs to undergo a rigorous training of a period of 5 years by pursuing a relevant university degree. So recruitment and retention of staff has also increased its difficulties. Costs a lot to be trained as a vet. Long working hours due to staff shortage, including working 365 days per year. So there are long working hours. Why is there long working hours? Many reasons. One is staff shortage. So there is a threat of losing talents. These are basically vets, because see, we are not the market leader. We are basically, I would say, in the top 6. There are 3 MNCs and there are 2 other independent vet organizations. So there's a threat of losing talents, because we have identified that there is a staff shortage throughout the market. If we have a talented vet doctor, there's a threat of losing them out. Data, 5% of staff are absent with work related to stress. This is an industry observation. In terms of staff, one is 5% of staff are absent due to work-related stress, and staff turnover is 13%. So we have evidence to say that staff turnover is 13%. This is staff in general. It can be doctors, it can be nurses, it can be any other staff, specifically those two. And absenteeism due to work related stress is 5%. So these are major threats. In terms of client loyalty is low. All right, client loyalty is low. That's also a threat. So low loyalty of clients. Depends. This is partly threat, partly an opportunity, because if we provide a better value, we might be able to obtain competitors' clients. On the other hand, our clients would also be switching. In general, this is a threat to every business, because their purpose is to attract as well as retain customers. So low loyalty of clients, high competition on fees, quality of care, opening hours to compete. So this is what we see amongst businesses. So there's high competition to retain the clients in terms of fees charged, the quality of services, as well as opening hours to make it more convenient for clients. And there is large carbon footprint observed in vet businesses, mainly due to waste production, resource consumption, as well as medicine usage. So we have high carbon footprint. If environmental authorities identify that these vet businesses are harming the environment exceedingly, they might take actions on organizations, or even they might try to bring regulations, influence regulations that will make all vet businesses incur additional processes, additional expenses to handle their carbon emission, right? Innovation and developments. One major challenge is technology, because technology can be used to improve the current service provision using AI, machine learning. The largest three MNCs have been adapting to increased technology, market services effectively using digital technology. So this is a threat. The three large MNCs have adapted and adapting technology. So it's likely that their client service has advanced. Keeping in mind low loyalty of clients, the adoption of technology would often result in increase in value provision and possibly lowered overhead costs. So see, the three large MNCs are now having an upper hand by providing better value for money. So understanding that clients have low loyalty, there is high chance we might lose our clients to the three large MNCs. They have not provided information, but this is a high possibility. Market services effectively using digital technology. And there is a digital market. Telehealth is providing increased flexibility and convenience for clients. All right. So telehealth. Telehealth platform for client management. So as they have specifically stated, yes, clients find it more convenient and also find it flexible using telehealth if we are able to exploit this particular platform where we can manage healthcare services through the telephone. That will be an opportunity. Industry bodies, regulations and legislation for the industry must register with the Chartered College of Vet Professionals. So this is a highly regulated industry. Obviously, we are into the medicine. We are into medical sector. CCVP, which is the Chartered College of Vet Professionals, they regulate vets. supports public interest and safeguard vets. CCVP Code of Conduct sets professional responsibilities of vets towards patient, that is the pet, client, which is the pet owner, the profession and the public. So, they set up professional responsibilities on the profession, on the client, on the patient as well as the public. CCVP has also provided accreditation, which is called Standards for Pets Program, SPP. So, this accreditation provides credibility and a certification for vet businesses. Most vets in Ireland hold core level of SPP accreditation. Most vet businesses have obtained the core level of accreditation. Only 5% of vets hold a higher level of accreditation. So, the condition to obtain the high level of accreditation involves displaying extra consideration that benefits vet teams. We have to display extra consideration benefiting the vet team, as the employees, patients, as the pets, client, the pet owner, the community and the environment as well. So, as long as we are able to display that okay, we are doing more towards all of these stakeholders, that is the minimal requirement for us to obtain the higher level. They have not provided any other additional requirements. So, you just need to know the entry level requirement is caring more about these specific stakeholders. Many veterinarians and vet nurses are members of Ireland Vet Union. Okay, just like a typical employee has a trade union or an labor union, there is an Ireland Vet Union which will basically look into the vet employees' rights. AVU, Ireland Vet Union, they campaign for better workplace conditions across industry, well-being of their members. So, this is also one of the important stakeholders. Organizations in the vet services industry, there are several legal obligations. One legal obligation is compliance with health and safety legislation to protect staff and public from risks and injuries. These risks and injuries can be common injuries, injuries during medication and also injuries that can be inflicted by the patient, which is the pet. So, we have to make sure we have sufficient procedures for health and safety of the staff and public. And the vet business also to inform in a large display, clients can request a written prescription. Clients can purchase medicine elsewhere, possibly cheaply if necessary. So, the client, the pet owner, has legal rights only to obtain the prescription without getting the medicine. The business cannot refuse. If they ask for a prescription, we have to provide. We have to provide a prescription. Provide or pay another organization to provide on their behalf. A 24-hour, 7-day per week, 365 days per year emergency service. So, every vet organization has a legal obligation to have an emergency unit, emergency service 24 hours a day, every day in the year. This is for emergencies. In reality, hospitals also have emergency access, okay, where patients can reach out hospital care anytime of the day for emergency cases. So, this is something legally required and we have to see whether do we have that or not. PVS Limited background. We are the 5th largest pet vet in Ireland. We had discussed this. Established 32 years ago, we have a history. So, strengths, we are the 5th largest in the industry and we have a history of, we are not recently open, we have presence for over 32 years. Founder is Peter Praecuro and the growth, in terms of growth, most growth is organic, but there are a few inorganic growth of the company, through acquisitions. Next, in terms of size, PVS has 2,490 staff, 860 veterinarians or doctors, 925 vet nurses and also 705 support staff. So, we have 860 veterinarians. Ratio of veterinarians to vet nurses to support staff is broadly in line with the industry average. So our maintenance of, okay, let's say we have a particular clinic, how many support staff versus how many vet nurses to how many veterinarians. So this ratio is in line with the industry average. So we are having our situation is something commonly implemented in the industry. 168 clinics in south of Ireland. So there are 168 clinics. So we are told that we had a strong regional presence. So it's basically in the south of Ireland. (160) clinics in south of Ireland. And depending on, we have different clinics of different sizes. Some small ones have 1 or 2 vets, others have 9 or 10 vets, depending on the requirement. And the head office is in south of Ireland itself, where we have many functions: finance, IT, purchasing, legal, facilities management, HR, and the financial year ends on 31st March. In terms of strategic position, our competitive strategy is differentiation. Okay. How do we differentiate? It's basically achieved through mainly 3 features which gives us competitive advantage. First one is location. Okay. So competitive advantage obtained through 3 aspects. One is location. Obviously, location matters a lot. Consumers of any product always looks at convenience to access. So here 85% of PVS clinics is in town centers where we have high mobility. It's convenient to access for clients on vehicle, clients on foot, or even public transport. Location, that is access, client access. Okay. All right. Second, we have innovation. Additional services, we have provided additional services innovatively in the pet care services. This includes therapy for pets experiencing behavioral problems. So we have provided some additional services, and since they have been a factor for competitive advantage, that means clients had valued these additional services. Therapy for pets experiencing behavioral problems, acupuncture for pain relief, and this has also won numerous awards for innovations. So see, from these innovations we had won awards for innovative pet care services. Okay, that means, okay, yes, we were one of those recognized by the industry, by the customers, and also we would have obtained the first mover advantage when it comes to new services. And quality of service, well known and revealed by past customers for the quality of service and patient care. So third factor is, okay, well known for service quality. Reputation itself is one of the main competitive advantage. Just like, okay, when someone wants to obtain a vet service, if they inquire others would recommend. So we are one of those who were able to get these recommendations. That is also one of the sources of competitive advantage, so that we had obtained clients. The above features led PVS winning Ireland's Vet Organization of the Year 11 times. So we also won. We also were recognized as Ireland's, the country's Vet Organization of the Year. (11 times). So see, we are only the 5th largest, but still if you are looking at the Vet Organization of the Year recognized by the country, we had won that award 11 times. So even though our scale of operation is not the largest, it's the 5th, but still in terms of recognition, we have had considerable presence. However, the last time one was 6 years ago. It's a problem. Okay. So let's take a note that in strengths as well. So we know. So we have last time one was 6 years ago. So for the last 6 years, it was some other competitor. That can be considered as a threat. Industry has consolidated and competition has increased. Competition has increased a lot. Okay. Competitive rivalry has increased. PVS's revenue has started to decline and market share dropped every year since 2010. Market share was declining since 2010. So that is now is 2014. That is the past 4 years continuous decline in market share. And also now at present, revenue has started to decline. Decline in market share means, okay, out of the overall industry, our revenue proportion has declined. Obviously, we also saw that over the last 5 years, the market was growing. Next 5 years, it will be further growing. Last 5 years, market was growing by 3.5%. Next 5 years, it will grow by 6.8%. At that point of time, our growth in revenue did not match the market growth, causing our market share to decline. But now at present, even our revenue is declining. When the market is growing, our revenue is declining. That means our clients would have switched to others. That's a major problem. Several competitors have undercut PVS's price aggressively and gained market share, though their services are different from PVS's. So we have many competitors undercutting their prices. They are providing very good lowered price. So see, at present we are differentiating. Yeah, even though the competitive strategies are different, we are differentiating due to our core competitive advantage. One of those including providing innovative services. So these competitors, they might not match our services, but now they have lowered their prices. So those employees, so they are trying to compete with value for money. Yes, services are not matching, but the prices are very, very low. That could be one of the reasons why at least a portion of our customers would have switched. So we are looking at possibilities. Ownership and organizational structure. Founder Peter Praecuro retired recently, and he still owns 11.1% of shares. The company is all equity financed, 100% equity. There is no debt. It's not listed, possibly a private limited company, and each executive director owns 11.11% shares. And if you look at the board of director structure, we have executive chair, that's the chair. The chairperson is normally non-executive, but here we have an executive chair. We have a CEO, and we have chief operating officer, chief financial officer, chief medical officer, human resource director, legal director, business development director. We have 8 executive directors. Each of the executive director owns 11.11%. 8 executive directors. And we have the founder who also owns 11.11%. Along with the founder, there are 9 people, each owning 11.11, means 99.99% of shares is spread through these 9 people equally. That is one of the reasons why I was able to infer we are a private limited company. Because public limited companies are incorporated as public because they want to issue shares to the general public. Now we have some problems. One is about the board of director composition. We have 8 executive directors and 1 non-executive director. In general, under corporate governance, it is recommended to have a number of non-executive directors, excluding the chair, to at least match the number of executive directors. NEDs without chair should be equal or more than the executive directors, but here unfortunately with NED is 1, executive directors is 8. So board of director composition, NED is lesser than ED, which is a major problem in terms of corporate governance. Next board of director composition is the chair is holding executive authority. Normally, chair has a non-executive role. So this basically brings up possible again corporate governance risks. As you are aware, the CEO is an executive director, normally heading the board of directors. The chair, normally heading the executive directors. The chair who has a non-executive authority, chair is a type of non-executive director, they manage the overall board of directors. At present, NED is 1, they are in the minority, and on top of that, the chairperson who manages the board is an executive director. Do you think NED, the non-executive director who reports to the chair, will have sufficient independence? No. So here we can see NED's independence and ability to empowerment is at risk. One NED, the minority, and NED has to report to an executive person, executive chair. So how can the NED be independently implementing their actions? Are they empowered? That's a major problem. The chair is holding executive powers. Normally, chair is NED. We had discussed this. Next is no audit committee, no nomination committee, no remuneration committees. No audit committee, no nomination committee, no remuneration committee. You know, audit committee in an organization is recommended by corporate governance to regulate the internal audit and external audit procedures, to provide auditors sufficient independence and empower them to perform their roles, including managing internal controls and managing risk. Now, there is no audit committee here. So, how can internal audit department do independently engage in their work? Okay. So, there will be risk and risk in independence in work on internal audit and risk management. No nomination committee. So, there is possible risk in improper influences in nominating directors. No remuneration committee. There is a questionable on the decision on questionable on remuneration plans for directors. So, if there is no remuneration committee, what does remuneration committee do? They basically are consisted of non-executive directors. Their work is to develop a suitable remuneration plan for executive directors. And if there is no remuneration committee, who decides the remuneration for executive directors? Is it done independently? Is it fair? So these are possible problems. So let's write them possible risk. Possible. Right. These are major issues. Internal audit function reporting to Chief Financial Officer. This is another problem. Internal auditors report to Chief Financial Officer, who is an executive director. This is not suitable at all and has associated risks. Think about just managing internal controls. Internal controls are basically implemented through executive employees. So if we are reporting that, okay, the past internal controls are having loopholes, the blame, the responsibility, and whether can we transparently report it and implement and take corrective action. So these are highly questionable. So this, to get rid of these, we require audit committees. Reporting, 10 clinic managers, they manage individual clinics. So normally clinic managers manage individual clinics. 10 clinic managers report to senior veterinarian. So the span of control of one senior veterinarian consists of 10 clinic managers. Senior veterinarians report to district managers, and there are 5 district managers. And these district managers report to COO. So now you can see the chain of command. And now let's look at the roles of some of the executive directors. Chief Finance Officer. Their role involves finance, purchasing, internal audit functions. They are specifically stated internal auditors are reporting to CFO, Chief Financial Officer. So Chief Finance Officer also is involved in internal audit functions, and we looked at how unsuitable that role is. On top of that, the CFO is also involved in purchasing, is also involved or responsible in purchasing, which is not right. So there will be a role conflict. In simple terms, see, as a procurement manager, we always would try to procure products, raw materials, accessory, purchasing any product that meets the requirement, meets the quality, and for a suitable price. Yes, we try to reduce the price, but get the best quality. But if it is given to CFO to manage the budget, as the CFO, Chief Finance Officer, has one role as the finance head, as the person who manages finance, we have to ensure expenses are within the budget. When the CFO is managing procurement, purchasing, their role also is to purchase. Now, there is a role conflict. As a finance person, we do not want to spend. We have to keep our expense within the budget. That will influence our purchasing decisions. There is a high risk that due to role conflict, CFO might purchase for a lesser price, but the problem is this lesser price would involve purchasing inferior, unsuitable products that does not meet the standard. Role of conflict especially between finance versus purchasing. Okay, and this can also involve in problems, risk in handling, improper handling of purchase and finance tasks. Chief Medical Officer, quality of patient care, fine, and also medical treatment provided, that's fine. Human Resource Director, talent management, compensation and employee benefits, training in conjunction with the CMO, Chief Medical Officer, health and safety. Human Resources Director is involved with health and safety, perfect. Legal director, minimizing PVS's legal risks by advising the other directors and by advising the other directors. So it can be a proactive role. And senior management on any major legal and regulatory issues PVS may encounter. It's a proactive role. Very good. And business development director, increasing PVS's revenue by identifying and developing new business opportunities as well as expanding brand presence. So we can also include those as strengths, proactive procedure to avoid legal implications, legal risks, as well as we have been active role in developing business opportunities and expanding brand presence. So we have a separate business development director, a separate executive director to handle this. Okay. And chief medical officer, CMO's role into ensuring service quality. Right. If these are implemented, those are proper strengths. We'll have to check whether are there any content given that has a contradiction with this. Risks, there's role conflict we had discussed. Information systems and use of technology. Software used to record client and patient information and schedule consultation is an off-the-shelf package used for 8 years. PVS website, so we can have a customized package. So we are currently using an off-the-shelf package for the last 8 years to record whose software is used to record information of client and schedules. There is room for us to improve this, find a better customized product. PVS website, so those are rooms for improvement. PVS website, we have a search function to find the nearest clinic. All right, that's good. Also inform basic service and telephone number for booking consultations. Strengths, we have also facilitated booking via telephone and searching for clinic location via our website, right? So we have our presence online, especially on website. So clients who access our website can also find our location. So this will be able to attract a portion of clients who have not yet decided their service provider. Details on the executive team and some limited information on PVS. So the website also involves information on mission and values. So let's look into this later, because our final section is on website extracts. Emails used within PVS with suppliers. All right, they can also contact us with emails. However, our email is used normally to contact suppliers and also within PVS. No facility for client to communicate with clinics via email. So that is a possible weakness. Clients cannot contact via email. So there is a possible risk in not capturing current issues, because clients do not have an outlet to communicate. At present, in reality, we use social media, we use emails, we use calls to get things done. So if email has been provided, at least we will be able to capture problems faced by clients, because that's the mainstream method that is used to get feedback. PVS has a very limited social media presence. Another main problem, limited social media presence. Earlier we discussed that the 3 MNCs are also adopting digital platform to exploit opportunities, but now we have limited social media presence. Even though we have website, the presence, the usage is quite limited. We have a staff intranet where news are circulated internally within the company, and news about the wider industry circulated in the intranet, info and resources for staff as well as areas on blogs. So we have the intranet used to provide resources to staff and facilitates market news and blogs. These will at least empower and promote employees. PVS is yet to make any major investment in technological advance in pet care. A weakness, PVS has not invested in technological advances in pet care. Right? That's a weakness. Others have started, but we have not. Services. Large clinics provide more services. If a small clinic does not have a service, they refer the client to a large PVS clinic in the vicinity. There has been very little innovation recently and no new services in last 2 years. That's a major weakness. See guys, our competitive advantage, one of our major competitive advantage is innovation. But for the last few years, for the last 2 years, we have not provided new services, and they have specifically listed down a fact that there is very little innovation. So we have not exploited our competitive advantage, which is innovation. As observed, which is innovation. As stated, they have stated little innovation recently, very little innovation recently with nothing in last 2 years. So see, if you are unable to exploit what gives us a competitive advantage, there's a high risk that our competitive strategy of differentiating will not work, because see, to differentiate we have to provide a unique service, a superior service, we have to give additional value. One of those is innovation. If you are not working on that now, then customers will not feel us providing better value. And in differentiation, we charge higher prices. Customers will not be willing to pay a higher price for our service because we have not provided them anything superior. On top of that, competitors have started cutting price. Now it's natural that customers would switch from us to competitors. So this can also lead to risk in our competitive strategy. Competitive strategy being ineffective. Work hours 8:30 to 5:30, and outside work hours, veterinarians provide emergency cover on a rotational basis. That's a legal requirement. Remember we discussed earlier? In terms of legal obligations, we have to provide 24/7 emergency service. We are doing that by ourselves rather than outsourcing. We have been doing that by ourselves. PVS healthcare plans introduced 2 years ago. So there's an opportunity on healthcare plans we had discussed earlier. Healthcare plans. So we have exploited that. Good. Purpose is to attract and retain. So we are not sure about how many competitors provide, but we are providing. It's a strength. We are providing healthcare plans since 2 years ago. So purpose is to attract and retain, and we provide annual vaccinations and other routine treatments for a monthly fee. That's what is usually done in healthcare plans. Rather than asking the customer to pay lump sum, they can pay part by part. Members, clients in the loan can pay cost of expensive treatments at a later date. Retention rate of members are higher than normal clients. Providing healthcare plans since 2 years ago, so members have higher retention. Those who have opted for healthcare plans, their retention is higher than normal members. So if you are able to have more of our clients convert to members of healthcare plan, our customer loss can be reduced to a significant extent. Communication, promotion, we have limited promotions. Visibility of location and town centers is what at present we have visibility on town center locations. We have posters in clinics, advertisement in local newspapers. The opportunity in social media where PVS at present has limited engagement. So main weaknesses, what is, we have limited promotions, and earlier we stated limited social media presence. So this also, and not promoting, and not being used for promotional activities. So I linked this as well. Limited promotions and no social media inclusion in promotions. So far. Suppliers, we have one sole supplier. That is also a risk. We rely solely on one supplier. As you can see, if we rely solely on one supplier will have high bargaining power. So this is a pet treatment related, and the suppliers Ireland Vet Supply Limited, and it is the largest vet wholesaler in Ireland. It's always good to have backups. It's always good to not give a higher power to the supplier, because when it comes to negotiations, bargaining, we are at a loss. We have a long-term relationship that says, okay, we are having good industrial relationship with supplier, and we are involved in central purchasing. We receive bulk purchase discounts, a good thing. Currently, we are enjoying from supplier quantity discounts, bulk purchase discounts. We have no information to compare suppliers' price quotations versus other suppliers' price quotations, but obviously it should be competitive unless the supplier has unique differentiated products. So there is no information. There is no information on that area. So far, we are innovating in terms of our services. In terms of supplies, there are no inclusion on unique products. Many suppliers pet food and accessories. Many suppliers also provide pet food and accessories. Example, Glows Group purchased directly by individual clinics, decentralized for these purchases. So other suppliers also will provide pet food and accessories, and where their customers are purchasing on a decentralized basis, but we are purchasing on centrally. So central purchasing has its pros and cons. The pro is, the advantage of central purchasing is we have large amount of branches. How many branches do we have? How many clinics do we have? We have 168 clinics in this country, and we get the requirements for these 168 clinics and purchase at once, which is delivered to one place. That has facilitated bulk purchase discounts. Disadvantage, now once we get those goods, we ourselves will have to now distribute to 168 places. Waste of time, additional effort, and additional delivery expense. So is it good or bad? We have to compare the benefits of discount versus expense on delivering ourselves. No information to take the final decision there. Risks, we have a risk register, good. A risk register has note of all risk factors and the situation. Risk management is handled by internal audit, good, but their problem is they are reported to CFO. Risks covered are most general risks faced by vet organization in Ireland. It's a good thing that there is no company extra risk, but we do not know whether are other risks not there or not captured. So let's have a look at this. Risks, competition, description from national, regional and local organizations. Competition risk from national organizations, regional organizations, local organizations, particularly on price. Even though we are differentiating, it's a fact that other competitors which are competing on price were able to capture our customers. Our customers would have switched. So identifying those risks and putting it in risk and having it noted in the risk register tells that we have captured proper risks. Key employees, failure to attract and retain staff, particularly veterinarians, due to shortage in the market. So that we have captured earlier. The industry's labor turnover is there, and also there is a high search for talents. Health and safety, failure to comply. So failure to attract and retain staff, particularly veterinarians. So here, threats. Losing talents. Staff turnover, absenteeism. On top of that, it's not just losing talents. We are also unable to attract vets or staff. We are also failure to attract and retain staff. Failure to attract staff, and we are losing talents. Failure to retain staff. That's a threat. It's also identified in the risk register, which is a common factor to all industries, including our company. All companies in the industry, including ours. Health and safety, failure to comply with health and safety legislations. Adverse publicity from mistakes in diagnosis and treatment. Okay, we do not have enough information to see to what extent we have these risks. These are possible risks that are common to everyone, general risks. They have not given us information on that, so such incidences. Right. Financial information, they have given us revenue from 2019 to 2023. And the final information is market share in 2024. All right. However, data, financial information is given for 2023 till last year, not this year. 2019 to 2023, we can see that from 19 to 20 there was a growth, and from 20 to 23, 4 years from 20 to 23, for the last 3 years it has been declining. Now it's 2024, so including this year, for 4 years revenue has been declining. Staff turnover has been increasing, so we can see, right, 19 to 20 staff turnover was maintained, revenue was increased, satisfaction was increased, new clients has been increasing. Obviously, when new clients increase, revenue will increase. Satisfaction of staff and clients were also increased from 2019 to 20. So when staff satisfaction has increased, it did not increase staff turnover. But see, once staff satisfaction declined, staff turnover increased. When client satisfaction declined, revenue has declined. And see, obviously this also has resulted in not being able to attract new clients. So it's basically, a circle, a process. So we have not done our responsibility towards employees and towards customers. Customers we have discussed. One is on innovation. We have not innovated. We have not provided proper value, but our prices were the same. We have not cut off our prices. Yes, not cutting off prices is fine because our strategy is differentiation, but we have not provided value for the money, value for the price the clients pay. On top of that, competitors, by cutting prices, they have attracted our customers, made our customers more dissatisfied, causing satisfaction to reduce. So because of that, satisfaction reduced, clients reduced, revenue reduced. On top of that, staff turnover has increased. We do not know exactly the reason for increased staff turnover. It's not given in the case. This could be a possible question in the final exam, whose information will be given in a separate exhibit. If you really want to know the numbers, using ratios are very helpful. So we can see in terms of ratios, annual growth from 2020 to 2023, revenue has reduced, revenue has degrown annually on an average of 3.74% per year from 2020 to 2023. Staff turnover from 2020 to 2023, annual average relative increase is 23.86, but that is difficult to comprehend. So you can come to the conclusion, in 2020 the staff turnover was 10%, but after 3 years, 2023, it has almost doubled. And new clients attraction has reduced from 15 million to 7 million. So on average, a reduction of 24.09%. So now you can basically understand the significance of the changes, the growth and degrowths of these numbers, which gives you enough numerical data to justify your observations. So here we have seen weaknesses, reduction in client satisfaction, reduction in client satisfaction. We do not have numbers here for client satisfaction, approximate numbers. Reduction in client satisfaction over last 3 years. So with 2024, it's 4 years, right? Over last 3 to 4 years. And then we can see reduction in staff employee satisfaction, 3 to 4 years. So if you look at staff satisfaction, yes. And we can also see increase in staff turnover from 10% in 2020 to 19% in 2023. Almost doubled over 3 years. And attraction of new clients significantly reduced annually over the last 3 years. Okay. $15,000 to $7,000 per year. And then we have decline in revenue by 3.74% per year for last 3 years. They have not given the 4th year data, as 2024's data not given. 2024 data, they have only given the market share, right? But still, if you want, we can do this. 6% of 2.5 billion industry revenue. How much is it? 2.5 billion or in terms of thousands into 6%, 150,000. Okay, or as 2.5 million into 6%. 150. So as you can see here, we can infer that revenue of 2024 is 150. So if you really want to know the decline in revenue, right, let's work with numbers now. 2024 is 150, 2009 is 180. So if you want to know the annual degrowth, it's 150 divided by 190 root, no, let's start with 2020, because actually the degrowth starts from 2020. 150 divided by 180 root 4 minus 1. Right. So the annual average decline is 4.5%, 4.46%. So here let me insert a comment here. (2004) revenue is 150 million. So from 2000 to 2004, the annual average degrowth is 4.46% per year. 4.46% per year. So there are some change in statistics here. (4.46% year for the last 4 years, that is from 2020 to 2024. All right, that's it. So 2024 information is not given separately in financial information, is given in the earlier section. New clients, yeah. And finally, website extracts on Praecuro Services. So here finally they have given us a section where they have given us the extract of websites. This is a section which is often seen in the pre-scene. There is a possibility where in the final exam they will ask you a sub-question recommending inclusions for the website. They might ask you, what inclusions to the website do you recommend? So you can basically bring up some generically observed features in websites, including the search feature, including the chat feature, including the FAQs, frequently asked questions, including testimonies, including details on what we provide, what we plan. So all of this can be easily included, as well as booking services. So far booking is done through telephones, it's there. But in our company we facilitate booking through telephone calls, but we can also include a facility on website so that they can do some online bookings. On top of that, complaints should also be facilitated through website, promotions. So many of these are common features seen in a normally active, effective website. You can input those. Now let's have a look at what are the actual information given in this particular website extract. They have given the company's mission to ensure our patients have long and happy lives. All right. Vision to be the vet organization of choice, a very broad vision. Strategic objectives, give our clients what they want. Good objective, but are we providing? We have not innovated. We have not focused on investing in technology. So clients who are into tech, clients who expect us to provide innovations, provide better service, are not getting what they want. So our strategic objective is good, but it is not yet met. So that's also another problem here. Business strategy is not driven towards achieving strategic objectives. Strategic objectives shown in website extracts. Retain our staff so that we deliver the best client service. Our staff turnover has been increasing for the last 3-4 years. Be leaders in vet care and client service. Our market share has declined. Now even our revenue has declined, causing market share to further decline. So see, you can see that the objectives are good, but we are not meeting it. Deliver profit via differentiation. Our strategy is there, but due to competitors cutting off prices, customers are leaving, except for those healthcare plan members whose retention rate is high. Our normal customers' retention rate is highly questionable. So is this profit sustainable? Is this long lasting? Problems. Values, teamwork and collaboration, honesty and integrity, quality and care. Okay, quality and care, fulfilling the individual needs of our stakeholders. Again, highly questionable. Are we meeting those? So if you are able to address and meet these objectives and embed these values in our company's culture and decisions, strategies, plans, then it would be more effective. Carry opportunities at PVS. Yes, they are using the website to also communicate for recruitment. Good. CCVP, we have SPP accredited organization. We are proud holders of the standards for pets program accreditation. So there is an opportunity. If we are able to provide better care for stakeholders, we can get a higher accreditation. Which can be used to improve the reputation of SPP. Right. So opportunity, let's list out that as well as opportunity to obtain higher SPP accreditation, which would be helpful in improving reputation and attract clients, attract stakeholders, clients, staff and other stakeholders. But however, we have to invest towards achieving this. Right, so these are what we had briefed out from our pre-sales. So I had basically prepared a SWOT with you during our summary discussion. We are understanding the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats will be quite helpful for you to understand the basic points provided in the pre-sale. So with this, make sure you understand the SWOTs in the pre-scene so that you will understand the key factors that could be helpful in your final examination. And I wish you all the very best for your exams.